30.
Nice going, Sarge. Well, that's one deserter we won't have any trouble with.
Yeah, we're supposed to bring him in, not shoot him. Why do they always have to be kids? I'll put him on my horse and take him back into Camp Mesa.
What about you?
I'm staying here.
What for?
McCurdy was waiting for somebody. I want to meet whoever it is that's making a living promising these kids an easy way out.
What are you going to do for a horse?
I won't need one. He didn't. He just sat here waiting. So will I.
How do I look? Scared, like all of them?
You look fine, Johnny, fine.
Rose, we're late, and I got another passenger to pick up. Kid, take those assay bags and put them in the wagon bin.
Yes, sir.
Tell the whole world, are you?
What?
Gonna ride your army tag straight into Prescott?
I'm sorry, I just keep forgetting that.
Better stop forgetting.
I'll load up.
It's an old model Spencer. Won't bring practically nothing.
They issued him that gun, Balaam, and you promised $60 for it.
Sure, I promise. But only on account of you. Tell me you love him. Gonna marry him. Get out of the territory. This is what you love, 60 greenbacks. And a one-way ticket from Prescott East, isn't that right?
No. Sure, I want out of the territory. I want out bad, but who doesn't? Also want Johnny.
And all he wants is mother. Is that what you're gonna do the rest of your life?
Instead of what? Staying around here, waiting on your fine customers?
You know, Rose, when you came here 3 months ago, I sized you up pretty quick. A woman with sense, I said. Good looks, but a woman. Not a girl anymore.
That's nice to know.
I took you in. I did you a lot of kindnesses, Rose.
I did my job. Sure, Johnny's young. But he loves me enough to risk his life for me, which is more than most will do. For like you say, a dried-up woman.
Rose, I didn't mean that. I talked too quick.
Maybe that's when the truth comes out, Bella.
The wagon's loaded, Mr. Balaam. Sure we'll be glad when we get to Prescott.
Don't worry, Johnny. We'll make it. Come on, honey.
We ought to be in Prescott by daylight.
I bet by the time we get up to the ridge, we'll be able to see the lights of Camp Mesa.
Johnny, since we've been gone, you haven't looked at me once. Just at the road. Every sound you hear, you think it's a soldier's voice or a horse. You're out of it now. You've got to turn your back on it.
Okay, Rose, I'm trying.
Johnny, I'm going to let my hair grow long. Would you like that?
I like it the way it is now.
Well, back east it would grow longer and it could be in curls. Because it's damp and cool back there. I always loved it in curls. Instead of here in the dust and the heat and the baking sun. Wisconsin's cool and damp, isn't it?
Rose, we only have enough money to get to Kansas City. How are we going to get back there?
We'll get there.
Whoa! We're not at the crest yet. What are we stopping for?
I don't know.
Be back in a minute.
Let's get out and stretch.
You looking for somebody?
No, I just saw the fire, so I stopped.
Just curious, huh?
Oh, this part of the country, a fire could mean trouble.
Could mean a lot of trouble. Like a man stopping to pick up a deserter.
Deserter? Sergeant, I wore stripes too during the war. And I learned enough then to keep out of army business. I ain't messing with no deserters.
Well, if you know so much about the Army, what are you doing driving after curfew? Don't you know there's martial law in this territory?
I got a pass from Camp Mesa. Here.
Hold it.
Just getting you the pass.
I got hands. This pass is for carrying milk.
Ah, that's right. And the colonel signed it.
You better have some milk in your wagon.
Soldier, it strikes me you're mighty curious. What are you doing out here?
That's my business. Let's take a look at your wagon, Mr. Balaam.
You wouldn't be figuring to jump me, would you? Out here, a long way from Camp Mesa, no horse. Maybe you're lighting out yourself.
Oh, sure. Me with 22 years in. Move.
You could have left Mesa tonight.
Only I didn't. I'm from Fort McDowell.
McDowell. Hey, that makes a difference. I ain't looking for trouble, Sarge, but you can't be too careful. An awful lot of fellas are lighting out of Camp Mesa these days.
So I hear.
Johnny!
No, it's all right, Rose. He's a sergeant major.
Johnny, we gotta get out of here. This means trouble.
Rose, look, we don't have any sergeant majors in Camp Mesa.
Johnny, we gotta get out of sight until he leaves.
You've been honest with me, Sarge, so I'll tell you. I ain't quite legal tonight. No milk. But I got a good excuse. I'm running a young couple up to get married.
Wow. Going someplace?
Just wondering why we stopped, that's all.
Ain't no army law standing in the way of wedding bells, is there? Folks, this is Sergeant,
Gravo.
young ladies, Rose Jackson used to work for me. Young fella's Harris, minor.
Howdy.
How are you? When's the wedding?
Tomorrow morning, sir. Sergeant.
Sarge, you wouldn't turn in them kids. I mean, traveling after curfew.
Oh, there's nothing wrong in a little wedding. And as much as my horse gave out and I'm headed for Prescott anyway, I'll just ride along with you if you don't mind.
Mr. Balaam.
Company won't interfere with you just for a couple of hours, Rose. Wagon's yours, Sarge.
Thank you.
We don't mind a bit, Sergeant.
Oh, what was your name?
My name?
No, hers.
Jackson.
Sorry to inconvenience you, Miss Jackson. Go ahead, son. Family mining people, son?
No, sir. They farm back east. I got 3 brothers working farms, older brothers.
But you work in a mine?
Yes. A copper mine near Wickenburg.
Wickenburg. Oh, I see. How old are you, son?
Just turning 23.
Ever been in the Army?
No, sir, but My brothers being older, they served during the war. Only he was a second lieutenant in the 12th Wisconsin. Maybe you knew him.
How would he know one soldier and a 500,000?
Well, I knew the outfit, but I didn't know him. You never served, huh?
He was too young.
Oh, yes, sure. At least for the war, anyway.
Whoa! Top of the grade. Water up, folks.
Well, after you, Miss Jackson.
Rose?
I don't feel like getting out.
Suit yourself.
Johnny, you gotta do something right now. It's our only chance.
What's gotten into you, Rose? He doesn't know anything.
Don't you see he's only playing us along to get proof? You gotta tell Balaam.
But Mr. Balaam put him in here with us.
Balaam doesn't know him. I do. He's provost marshal at Fort McDowell. His job is tracking down deserters.
What are we gonna do?
Tell Balaam. Tell him who it is. He'll take care of him. Johnny, I swear it. It's either you or him. He'll turn you in.
Rose, I just can't.
Don't you love me? Don't you want to go free?
Not if I have to get a man killed. I'm not built that way.
No, you're not, are you? Well, I am.
Rose, don't.
I'm not going back now. We've gone this far. If you can't do it, I'll do it for you.
Anybody live here?
Nope.
You seem pretty sure.
I ought to be. I own the place. I used to mine back there, but the vein played out. Take a look if you think I'm lying.
All right, I will.
Hold these.
You first.
Like I said, nobody here, is there? Oh. Mexican boy was working the shaft tailings for me. Lived here.
Oh. How long ago?
A week or so ago. Go ahead and look. Like I say, nobody's here.
I'll do that.
I'll go finish watering the horses.
Okay.
You've got to do something and do it now.
Grabo's got to have proof, and he don't have it.
That's right, he don't know anything.
He knows me.
I'm not going to jump until I have to, you understand? I don't think he'll show his hand just yet, but in case he does, just accidentally drop this out the back. I'll hear it, and I'll jump him when the time is right.
Rose.
It's the only way, Johnny.
Figured you might want a little shot, Sarge. Take it with you for the way down, Miss Jackson.
No.
Yes, Johnny.
Why, sure. Nothing wrong in having a little drink to the bride and groom. Son, won't hurt you.
I'd rather not. We don't drink.
It's a good start for a marriage. Well, here's to marrying young. Sometime a man waits too long out here to get married. Gets wrapped up in a job. Like me, for instance. I track down deserters.
I guess the Army has a lot of deserters, doesn't it?
Not only the Army.
I'll have some of that now. The bottle's all right.
Rose, you better not. You see, she gets kind of wagon sick.
Oh. You know, most of these deserters are young fellows about your age who don't realize what they're letting themselves in for. Oh, sure, some of them get away and go home and get married like you're going to do. And all of a sudden, one night, there's a knock on the door, and a fellow like me is finally caught up with them. I'd hate to spend the rest of my life jumping every time there was a knock on the door.
We're going to talk all the way there.
Rose, the sergeant here's just passing the time.
Sure. Just talking shop.
You got a family, Sergeant?
I have a son, 3. Died last spring, lung fever.
I'm sorry.
His mother was a very beautiful woman. One of the most beautiful women I'd ever known.
What happened to her?
When the boy died, she left.
Maybe she just couldn't stand it, losing her son.
That's what she said. Of course, I think she used it as an excuse to get away from something she didn't have the courage to face up to. This is a kind of a rough country.
Maybe she couldn't stand wasting away out here. Getting old. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
You ever see her again?
I keep looking.
We won't have that trouble, will we, Johnny? Come on, let's drink to us.
No, Rose. No, Rose. No. But not.
Johnny!
Rose! I'm sorry, Sergeant. She just got a little excited, that's all.
Well, no harm done. There was only a little left in there anyway.
Look at your uniform. Here, I'll clean it for you.
Oh, that's okay. Leave it alone. No harm.
You didn't hurt his uniform.
No, he didn't. Not at all.
What's the trouble?
Rock slide ahead. Go on up, take a look at it.
All right, soldier, let's give him a hand. Come on.
I'm no soldier.
Oh, now, look, son, I've tracked enough of you to know.
No.
Have you told him yet? How did she get you to quit? Make you think you were the only one? I feel sorry for you.
I want to know what you know about Rose. Tell me.
You really love her there, aren't you?
What do you think?
Well, there's very little I can tell you. Except that she just reminded me of someone I used to know. I don't blame you for falling in love with her. It's just too bad you got caught.
What do they do with me, Sergeant?
You know the regulations.
Regulations? Is that all you run by? Can't you give anybody a chance?
Were you giving him a chance?
It wasn't her fault, Sergeant. I don't belong in the Army. My brothers nagged me into joining. I was aching to quit. I ain't cut out to be an Indian fighter. You never see him till you get an arrow in the back. I was scared, always scared.
Everybody is, kid, if they got any sense.
Hey, Sarge! Harris! Rocks in the road! Give me a hand with them!
Won't be any need to move the rocks now, will there, Sergeant?
Oh, just to make enough room to turn around so I can take you back. The 3 of you.
Balaam? Balaam?
Ben! 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 Ben!
If you'd have kept quiet, you'd have gotten away.
I know.
Thanks. Harris, bring the wagon down here.
Yes, sir.
You did a good job, Sergeant. With Balaam out of the way, we'll have fewer desertions.
Maybe so.
All we'll need for evidence will be this and your testimony at Harris's court-martial. And on the woman as an accomplice.
Well, I don't think it's necessary to hold a court-martial, Lieutenant. It was Balaam you wanted, not this kid.
He's a deserter, Sergeant.
Well, let's just say he could have been a deserter, but he wasn't. Like so many new recruits, he was absent without leave for one night.
I respect your experience, Dravo, but the evidence seems...
That's the way my report will read, sir.
I'll honor it. What about the woman?
She won't be around here anymore.
That's good enough for me. Jones, take the prisoner and the wagon back to Mesa.
Rose,
So long, Johnny.
So long, Rose.
Next time, son, hang on to the gun.
Want right back to Mesa, Sergeant?
Oh, thank you very much, Lieutenant. I better be getting along.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Ben. Ben, you let him go. I never saw you let a man go before. I never knew you could.
Maybe there are a lot of things you didn't know, Rose. Maybe I didn't either. It's just too bad we found out so late.
It's not too late, Ben. Please. I never loved him. You know that. It's always been you.
I looked all over for you. Every place I went. Sometimes you felt so close I could reach out and touch you.
Take me back. Love me. We belong together. I'll be good to you, I swear it.
No, Rose, it wouldn't work. Oh, maybe for a while like before, but then one day I'd come back to the fort and you'd... I don't want that again.
I know what I want now.
You've always wanted to get away. Now's your chance. The Prescott stage will be along in a little while. Take it. And get out of this territory. Get out of my life.
Ben! Ben! Don't leave me. Where will I go? What will I do? Ben!
All right, dear. We'll try again.
Oh.